guys can talk.
You just be recorded.
Yeah.
Everybody in the public's hearing you now.
For us that have mics in front of our faces.
Wake up. That nice long tail. I'm gonna hit a wall about that.
I can't. Being really I can't get to sleep. And it stays in my
Today, she was my father was somebody else last night. Yesterday, she was end up being a beautiful. That wind just kept blowing.
That's good.
Play around, she knew I struggled with that. She got us a lot.
What you do?
Play small.
The drive-thru?
Yeah.
I go through there all the time. All those little coffee places, Colony, there's the,
I've not been there, but
this
nice
guy,
guy.
Ophelia. It's really good. And it's
Call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Scott Wilby.
Here.
Jill Winley.
Yes.
Jane Wilbur, yes. Chad Thompson.
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes.
Steve Moss.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome. I guess this evening we have some distinguished guests with us. We have a girls track team and a boys baseball team. We'd like to recognize their extraordinary efforts this spring season. So, which coach first?
Start with the ladies
Let's
first.
start with the ladies first.
Shane, if you don't mind, maybe introduce everyone, talk a little bit about the season and the
Everything
neat
that,
accomplishments that go with it, right?
yeah, absolutely. So this is my assistant coach, Jenny. She's actually my mom too. So we get to coach together. And then these are our 4 state qualifiers. So I'll let them introduce themselves and I'll talk a little bit about them. I'm Jessica Larson. I'm a junior. Abby Hill, I'm a junior. I'm Morgan Springer and I'm also going to be a junior. I'm Dave Summers. I'm going to be a sophomore. So they qualified in the 4x8 and then Jessica also qualified in the Open 800 this season. It's been a while since we've taken a relay at all to state, so that was a big accomplishment. And then Jessica also made it to finals, which is not easy to do in the Open 800. So they ran an awesome race. They just, it's their first time at state, so it's always a little bit scary going out onto the eastern track, but they ran an awesome time, and we're hoping to come back next year with some more. But yeah, very big accomplishments, and they kind of dropped their time a lot at the end of the season. I don't think probably a couple weeks prior, they were like, no, we won't make it to state. And then like suddenly their times just kept dropping. And so it was pretty cool to see their excitement at sectionals and then going into the state meet as well. Jess had an interesting experience at state. She, I don't know if she wanted to share this, but she qualified for finals. And then on finals day, she ran an awesome new PR. But she also took a tumble and walked away with some battle scars. She actually had to restart the race because she fell within the first like 5 meters. So poor thing was just like covered, and then she still ran a new PR, so it was pretty awesome. She placed 10th overall, so really proud of her.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And they're young. They're young,
Yeah.
exactly. I think they were probably one of the youngest relay teams that we had at state level. So it's cool to see them go out there and compete against these upperclassmen for sure.
So are we multi-sport athletes? Do we run cross country? Anybody run cross country?
We
All
don't
four of
care.
you? Can't be a team there, but you gotta run on your own,
Yeah.
right?
Hopefully you see them back after, cross country season's over. Hopefully they go to state. I think that's what they're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations and thank you for coming this evening.
You get a picture, so you either come here or over here, real quick.
Our board generally likes to shake hands with you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right,
So we don't do
if you want to start over here with Scott and work your way around.
We expect to see next
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Congrats. Great job.
You guys want to just go straight ahead there and over there? Yeah. You guys want to get I don't know.
One of Thanks for representing us well. We appreciate it. All right, gentlemen. Coach?
All right, I'm going to introduce our assistant coaches first. Coach Cal Burgoyce, he's been with me all 4 years now, so he's been in it for the long haul. Coach Justin Hayes, he's new to our program. This is his first year, so both these guys have been huge helps, especially Justin when he came up with us towards the end of the season there. He's down with JV, so being able to have him for the last 3 weeks of the season was extremely helpful. Just to talk about our season real quick, I think we shared with the media, at one point in time, we were 8-11, I think about halfway through the season. Just kind of struggling, dealt with some injuries that we weren't expecting, just not playing the way we thought we should be playing. And then we rattled off with 7 in a row, I believe. Put us back above 500, and that was kind of our goal midway through the season, just kind of push ourselves to get back to 500. And then we really thought things would kind of take off from there, and they did. The last week and a half, we kind of fell into a little bit of a slump, but then we just got hot at the right time. Bats came alive, started putting balls in play. I just looked today in that postseason in 7 games. We had over 6 guys in the lineup hit over 300. We finished with a staff ERA, I believe, 1.6 range. So just a testament to them, just not dying on themselves, not quitting on themselves. Just continue to focus on the things that are conducive to winning ball games. They just work day in and day out, never gave up. So I'll let them introduce themselves. If they have something else they want to share about the season, by all means.
And gentlemen, if you're a senior, can you tell us what your plans are for next year?
I'm Jack Harper. I'm going to Southwestern Illinois College to play baseball next year.
I'm Evan Weymouth. I'm going to Lakeland next year, and my plans are I'm thinking like pharmaceutical sales rep or maybe medical or surgical rep.
I'm Caden Nichols. I'm going to be a senior.
Braxton Lewis, I'm going to be a senior as well.
I'm Cammy Raditz, I'm going to be a senior.
I'm Caden Everline, I'm going to be a junior.
But one, I graduated and I was straight to the workforce.
I'm Josh McDevitt. I'm going to go to Mizzou next year and play baseball.
I'm Andrew Donaldson. I'm gonna go to Lakeland next year to go into pre-med.
I'm Wes Cole, moving to Jefferson College next year to play baseball.
I'm Miles Maxton. I was a senior and I'm going to ISU to study finance.
I'm Peter Rosen, and I'm from Eugene.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to share about the weekend or anything of that nature? You've had the opportunity to talk a little bit already, I know. A little different settings than this too also.
So thanks for bringing home a trophy.
We're extremely
Yeah.
proud of it, and I would agree with Karen. I didn't get a chance to watch much through the year when we were in session. It seemed like other things took me away from athletics, but I had a heck of a run watching these guys in the postseason, and I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good sports, especially baseball. My years at T-Town and Jasper County even a little bit, but just to walk away from that field every time you won and the manner in which it took place. And again, it didn't come down to one guy, it came down to several of you stepping up and doing things. And I think it's a great tribute to this community. I think it's a great tribute to our school district. Obviously, we're extremely proud of everything you've accomplished, but that's just half the story. The other half is what you're going to do, as Jill said, when you leave with your seniors. We still care about you in that manner too. We want to see you be just as successful as you've been on the ball fields as well. So thank you on behalf of the administration. I don't know if the board has anything else, but we appreciate it.
Right.
This might be a little harder.
We'll figure it
Come to
out.
the here, we'll shake hands, and there's Michelle.
We'll figure it out.
I'll tell you what to do.
Congratulations. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats. Kill it next year. For next year. Congratulations. Great job.
So much. Thank you so much.
I love this spot. Every one of these guys.
Maybe the board should sign one.
Congrats. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Congratulations. Great job.
Another row in front, boys.
Everyone look up and then we'll. Okay.
Thanks again, guys.
That's good. Why didn't you go to London and watch the game?
I was afraid to.
Okay, moving right along to the financial report.
Financial report, I will, this will be the last or next to last time I give this probably. We'll get Kelsey down the road, but we'll see where that is. I'll probably do it again in July, and maybe August, we'll see. But financial report for right now for this past month was a 3.9% decrease over last year in the net fund balance, which basically it was $23,659,762.80. Operating funds was a 5.17% decrease over last year. The net total there is $21,005,673.38. Revenues, education fund for this past month was from the local level, $662,422.38. The state level was $581,514.22. And at the federal level, $348,233.22. $253.91. Recommendations are for the reimburse the impress account in the amount of $6,870.12. And our payment of bills for this past month was $564,506.78.
Okay, are there any questions regarding the financial report?
You may have told me this before. Tort fund is up this year over last year. We know what that's in regards to. Everything else is pretty much.
You mean the fund balance is up? I don't know for sure, but I would almost estimate part of it, anytime we've got heavy lawsuits, things of that nature, we've not spent a whole lot of money this year on lawsuits.
Oh, okay.
So your attorney fees and some of that,
From what?
obviously is out there. I'd have to take a deeper dive for sure, but I think that would only be able to service probably my.
Okay.
And we did levy for more money for next year, so there will be an opportunity, but I levied that money, as we've talked about, for the purpose of upping our safety, securing some more SROs and things of that nature. So
sure,
if we stated an expenditure such as what we had this year, we would have a little bit of a surplus next year in tort as well. But we try to do everything we can to spend tort, which should not be levying, not spending tort.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Question I have.
All right, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the financial report to reimburse the interest account in the amount of $6,870.12 and the payment of bills in the amount of $564,506.78.
Motion.
Motion by Steve. Second by Chad. Roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Inside your packet, the next on the agenda is the consent agenda. There are minutes from the open session on 5/22, closed session on 5/22, and on 6/15/23, the HR and Athletics Committee minutes. The cafeteria report is enclosed. There are a few student teachers or practicum students for observation. Fundraisers, it looks like we have basketball cheerleaders having an event at Panera, EHS football cheer, they're selling fan gear, Southside PTO selling spirit shirts, pizzas, and cookie dough, Central Student Council selling Sminsels and Snickers, ELC PTO is having a t-shirt and apparel, a used book sale, and ELC Art to Remember keepsakes. And those are ranging from July down until early spring of next year. We also have the annual library services report. That was quite lengthy. Did everyone have a chance to look over that? Any questions? The annual software program renewals, anything that we have subscriptions for is in your consent agenda. Also the changes to the district handbook, and then an additional summer camp, which is a pole vault camp being held from July 10th through the 12th. Any questions? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Scott. Second by Desha. Roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Jill.
Yes. Okay, correspondence. This is a thank you note from Deb Spence, Mr. Johnson, and Unit 40 Board. I wanted to express my thanks for the lovely retirement celebration and gifts. The last day of school was definitely bittersweet because I will miss all the students and staff I have had the pleasure to work with over the years. Working for Unit 40 has been a blessing in my life because I have made so many wonderful friends there. While I am looking forward to my upcoming adventures, I will always have a sense of pride in knowing that I was a teacher at Effingham Unit 40 schools. Thank you for that opportunity. Sincerely, Deb Spence. Dear Andrew Johnson and Unit 40 staff, On behalf of my entire family, I wish to thank you for thinking of us during the passing of my wonderful mother, Janet Henderson. My mom loved being a kindergarten teacher for Unit 40. She inspired kids and was equally inspired by them. She volunteered for many years after she graduated from kindergarten because she just loved children and loved to see them learn. Thank you so much for the lovely plant you sent in memoriam of her. We appreciate it very much. Sincerely, Shannon Hinkle and the entire Janet and Roger Henderson family. Dear Unit 40 board members and staff, thank you for the beautiful plant and your kind thoughts during this time. They're greatly appreciated and mean so much. Thank you, Susan Gillenwater and family. Thank you to Mr. Johnson, Board of Education and Unit 40 office. Thank you for the beautiful hanging basket, memorial brick paver, and recognition luncheon for my retirement. I appreciate all that was done. I would also like to thank you for my 32 years of being able to serve the students, parents, community, and Effingham Unit 40 School District. I wish only the best for the district. With gratitude, Karen Littleford. Okay, next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Before we go there, I think we take a pause for the.
Oh!
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
We walked in the middle of a meeting, so we can transfer that way and wait until call.
You stay right here.
Okay.
You're here for the.
What, boys track, right?
Voice track, yes.
We got
Welcome, guys.
baseball, so you're fine. Stay right where you're at. Here's what we're gonna do. What we have them do is introduce yourself and tell us what your event and things that you were involved in this
That
year.
is, Andy, I don't think all the boys are here yet.
They still coming?
Yes, we're early. So, like I said, we can transfer over there. I can get them.
Sit on here and relax.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
They get here and tell us. Is that okay with you as a board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks. No,
It's
you're
okay.
good. We'll keep going. Enrollment. Enclosed, you have it. Basically, through the month of this year in May, our total enrollment was 2,292. This is 18 less students than the previous month. However, thanks to Chad challenging me earlier in the year, I do have numbers for the whole year, and I do have numbers in comparison to recent years, and we are up about 150 students for the month of May from last year. And of course, the year before we're up because that was the COVID year. And the year before that, those 2 years back to back were COVID years. So in my opinion, though I wasn't here, looks like we've had a nice rebound, and that's appreciated in this district, in my opinion, to those that have come back. I'll also tell you that I did an average. The average for the year, if you go by months, was 2,258, basically what we averaged each month. And last year, this time, it was about 2,158. So we're up about 100 average per month throughout the whole course of the year. Now, I don't know if it's ever been explained here, but you also have to keep in mind our district, Louisville's district, well, a lot of the districts for that matter. There's some transit students. Okay, when I was in Jasper County, we went through this, and you watch the fluctuation that some of those kids that start the school year leave, and then they end up back here at the end of the school year. Right? So there's some of that kind of, when you talk about enrollment, I think you have to keep that in mind. It's just not all moving in, moving out, and stagger they go. Right? Sometimes they bounce back and forth. So keep that in mind as well. Next I have is FOIA request. We only have one. It's procure. We have it in here.
Yeah, it just says procure.
It's
For vendors.
Okay, for vendors. It's a pretty standard FOIA request in districts. That is all that I have. How many track colors do we have coming, you know?
Probably 7.
7? Okay, so we still got some to go. Okay.
Okay. We'll go on to new business then. Next on the agenda is a consolidated district plan. Mrs. Beck.
Okay, well, every year, we have to submit what's called the Consolidated District Plan. We submit that to the state board, and it's basically a general rundown of how we plan to use our federal funds. So we receive federal funds through Title I, Title II, IDEA Part B, which is special education, and then there's also IDEA preschool funds that we get as well. And then the ESSER 3, which you're all aware of. So those are our federal dollars. In general, what we do with those funds is we just try to provide the most well-rounded education that we can for all of our students. We try to give a range of things. A unique example, I guess, for this year was the summer programs that we offered. We were able to do that because of some of these federal funds, and that's been kind of a nice little breath of fresh air, I think, for a lot of our students. We also try to weave into that some professional development for our staff. So some of the funds don't go directly to students, they go indirectly to students as well, while we try to provide some training for our staff to provide that quality education. Do you have any questions for me on any of that? I know there's a lot more detail in the board packet on this.
And that is an annual
It is an annual
responsibility of the district.
It is.
I do not have any questions.
Great.
Thanks for putting it together for us.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you. Thanks, always appreciate your support.
Okay, next is the property casualty insurance renewal.
Need to take action on that. Accept.
Oh, we do have to. I'm sorry. It does say that. Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consolidated district plan as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Tricia?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Scott?
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a document that does get uploaded to ISB, so they do have it on record for a lot of our records, so
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow.
takes care of that for us.
Okay.
Thanks, Shelley.
Okay. The property casualty insurance renewal.
Any questions about that? That was all provided to you. Again, it's something that's yearly as well.
I have no questions.
No question on that.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve fiscal year 24 property casualty and workman's compensation insurance renewals from.
Can we go 1%? Joe? So the increase was 76 out 16%, is that normal? Is that within the range?
I don't know if there is a normal, to be honest with you.
In relationship to last year and the year before?
I would have to look to make sure before I would go out and say that.
It would all, I mean, it is up, but it's all dependent on claims, right?
Correct.
So if our claims are up, it's gonna go up.
The appraisals of the building stuff, that's gonna have an impact on that too. How much did it go up?
I don't think it's up much.
Increase of
76,000, 16%.
It's a
16%?
increase, yeah.
Yeah. I just know health insurance.
But, well, and that increase, that increase is over both the workman's comp and the property insurance, correct? Because those are broken down.
Yes.
Some of that could be deterred, because that would be a big expenditure that wasn't on there
Could be based
before.
on replacement value of the term. Could be.
And then work comp claims, I don't know what claim experience,
Yes,
how much.
workman's comp claims are up, and also there was some property damage to Southside, and there's
yeah.
vandalism to the school buses, so
Yeah.
those
That was
kind
impactful.
have our increase, that's part of it. Yeah, so that's the increase, and I don't know what it was previous, to be honest with you, I can look and get back to you.
We'll get a report on that. We'll get that.
Okay, so the recommendation is a motion and a second to approve the fiscal year property casualty and workman's compensation insurance renewals from Glatfelter Public Entities and Zenith at a total cost of $549,745 for the 2023-24 school year.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jane,
Second.
second by Scott. Roll call.
Chad?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay. Are we
Still waiting for some athletes.
They are here.
Okay.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
okay?
Let's pause right there.
We're pausing.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're missing one, but we're missing a couple, but they couldn't make it.
Okay. Mr. Jaspering, are you the coach?
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the Effingham men's track.
Well, it's been a super awesome spring sports season. But the guys I have in the room, I'm missing Logan Heil is my hurdler who qualified for state. I have not qualified anybody since Clayton Ramsey pre-COVID, my first year. So we finally, this group of guys was led by a couple seniors right here, Caden Walls and Muhammad Freeman. They grinded out your freshman year was the COVID year that got cut short, and they stuck it out. And they were part of a 4x1, 4x2 team that set a school record, broke the school record twice this year, and qualified in the 4x1 and the 4x2 and the hurdles. Part of the record-breaking team, Jacob Weaver and Weldon Dunstan, and then I got Logan Kessler and Andrew Watts right here were alternates. So either one of these two guys could have probably at least been on one of those record-breaking teams. The second breaking record when we broke it at the state track meets was pretty impressive. But the first time I've taken more than one person to state. First time, well, I take that back. I helped in 2013, but it's the first school record I've broken here as a head coach with my sprinters, and it's just really nice to see spring sports back because of the COVID year, followed by the summer season year. Was super hard on spring sports, and but these guys stuck it out, specifically the seniors, and then we're continuing to look forward to more next year with all these guys right here returning. So I'm super proud of these guys. I thank you for having us and recognizing us. We're hoping to be recognized a lot more in the future. So thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming tonight, guys. We appreciate it. We're super proud of your efforts and wish to recognize you for that.
What was your time to stay in that 4x1?
The 4x1 was we ended up 40. We did
43, 42.
But that was at the sectional. That wasn't at state. We didn't. Believe it or not, we ran the sectional at Mattoon. They have a brand new track. There are a lot of facilities, minus Charleston, probably in the Apollo Conference, our facility that are actually in better condition than Eastern's at this point. Lots of faster tracks, and ours being one of them. So we ran some really fast times in the sectional. We did get some good competition in the 4x2, and we ended up beating that record by like a second and a half, I think. We barely beat it when we qualified. Like I said, our sectional was very, very difficult. We had to qualify on time. When you get to the sectional track meet, top two automatically qualify. But ours is super competitive, so qualify on time. The state takes an average of the best times from the last 5 years, and you have to meet that mark. Logan Heil was the only person that finished in the top two. And our sectional sent seven 4x1 teams and 8 4x2 teams out of our sectional. Our sectional was very, very fast, and there was lots of great competition. We finished fourth in sectional in 4x1, and we were in the slow heat. So we were the fastest team in our heat, and we were seeded 8th or 9th and ended up 4th. So these guys really showed up. And actually, Kate Walsh was had the flu the day before that. So it takes a lot of work and dedication as the school year winds out and people are ready to be done and move on to show up and keep practicing when everybody else is on the summer and doing those things. So I'm really happy with this group that just kept grinding. They knew what they wanted to do, and they showed up every day and did it.
It's great.
How many seniors you have on out of the 6?
Two, and then Logan is a senior. Everybody else will be coming back. So,
You already got 4 back.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah, hope so. So. Yeah.
Well, just like we do with all the other athletes, we like for you to come around, shake all of our hands, we'll congratulate you, and we'll get a picture. Thank you, parents and coaches.
Congratulations.
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 Congrats.
Great season.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Way to go. Congratulations. Thank you for coaching.
Thank you.
She'll want you against that wall. Yeah.
And then if you were late, would you please sign in to his week? Sorry. Or kind of get more together. Ready? Great. I like the t-shirt.
Thanks for taking the time out to come and be recognized this evening.
We appreciate you recognizing us.
I'd like to make a little comment too. I am thoroughly impressed with our youth that actually know how to shake hands. Someone has taught these kids how to shake hands, and I appreciate that.
Now it's gonna be a competition over who has the best handshake. Yeah.
Okay, let's see, next on the agenda is the property and casualty insurance for the Little Hearts Daycare Early Childhood Center.
The only thing is that the employees are covered in the workman's comp from the previous, so that's why it's a different, it's cheaper. Other than that, nothing to compare it to, so sorry.
Okay. Okay, are there any questions about that? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the fiscal year 24 property casualty insurance from Erie Insurance for Little Hearts Early Childhood Center at a total of $14,764.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Chad, roll call.
Desha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the cybersecurity insurance.
Obviously something that we haven't had in the past. Learned it the hard way. Basically, and I think you've got information on it, Kelsey wants to jump in. There were 3 comparisons, 3 different programs. Each one does something a little bit different than the others, and doesn't do something compared to the others. You have the, how do I say it, really, really expensive one, and you have a middle of the line one, and you have a cheaper one. But really, to be honest with you, I will tell you that I told them when they were doing the research, I want to worry about money, but I want to get the best of the 3, regardless of what the money cost is. And I'm sure everybody came back, the recommendation from Jeff Weiss, the recommendation from Rim, and the others that were involved with Kelsey, gives the travelers.
Okay.
Do we know how they arrived at the 1 million max? Was that Jeff's recommendation, or is that a normal number for schools?
Yeah, that was Jeff's recommendation for us, so, yeah.
It seems kind of small, but yeah.
Yeah, because if that happens at your place or my place, we get fined per incident. I don't think it applies to school.
It does not, that's why, yeah.
What were our expenditures was the last week on the entire process?
I think what we hit it at 125,000. And again, I think I expressed before that I think 60 to 70,000 of that was already in the plans, almost ordered. That was hardware stuff to be replaced. So the expenditure we felt was, again, we're very fortunate for what took place for us. We're probably closer to a 45, 50, maybe $55,000 expenditure. I would gamble and say if we were to go down this road again, the odds of that happening twice are nearly none. We would be, you could be in millions.
Well, and we're
we hope-
maybe not
we
counting
hope-
all the time that we're using this summer scrubbing machines
Yeah.
and getting them ready to go too.
And those
so.
are almost done. Just so you know, Jay, you asked about the devices and stuff, we are ahead of schedule.
But would that even be covered?
Right, but it's a,
But
I mean,
yeah. Would that even be covered by the insurance?
I think it's covered in different places.
I would assume.
To pay
To scrub,
people to get the devices ready?
Oh,
It
well.
would be your labor, it would be part of your labor.
Right.
Yeah, if they are infected.
Exactly.
There's some,
Yeah.
here's the deal, we all know.
It's insurance.
Absolutely.
But at least I will say that I've had good experience with travelers, so I'm glad to see it's a name we recognize.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a quality product if we have to use it. I think if it's one you don't recognize, then you run that risk of them. There's always gonna be some company that's gonna try not to pay much, but I think Travelers has a better reputation on something like that.
okay. So I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the cybersecurity proposal of Travelers Insurance Company as presented for a cost of $10,628 for the 2023-24 school year. Motion by Desha,
Second.
second by Chad, roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes,
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha.
I would say to Desh's point before we move on, one of the comparisons was Trishera Insurance. There was a limit of insurance of $3 million, and that would have cost us 24. And again, we didn't feel that everything else in line lined up with what was best for us. That would cost us 24,000 in annual premium instead of 10.6. So we might be here next year talking about Trishera. You know, who knows?
When does it go into effect?
I think it'll go into effect as soon as we send them
Okay.
a check or something.
I have everything ready on my
Probably.
side, so tomorrow
Great.
I can send it over to you.
Awesome.
okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of dairy bids.
Really, there's not much to talk about.
But this is where it gets contentious.
We only have one bid,
Yeah.
and that was with Prairie Farms on the Zimmer.
Always been a Golden Meadow guy myself.
Dean's didn't show up this year. Okay, any questions about the bid? Looking for a motion and a second to accept the dairy bid from Prairie Farms for the 23-24 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Scott, second by
Second.
Desha, roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Next is the approval of bakery bids. Annually, the district bids for bread suppliers. 2 bakery bids were received. Aunt Millie's is the accepted bid. The memo is in board book. Does anyone have any questions? Looking for a motion and a second to accept the bakery bid from Aunt Millie's for the 23-24 school year. Motion by Jill.
Second.
Second by Jane. Roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Next is the pizza
Please
bids.
make a note for there to be samples next time.
Yeah, we need.
For the pizza part.
We need to be.
Well, there was no competing bids on the pizza, but there was competing on the bakery. So
Yeah, so
samples would have been very appropriate.
annually, the district bids for pizza suppliers. 1 pizza bid was received, and that was Domino's. The memo is in board book. Any questions?
Yeah, how's this gonna work? What is this? I mean,
For the pizza,
yes.
we offer pizza to high school.
Oh, so
Over
then they
lunch,
bring it in
at
and
lunch.
just sell it
Yeah.
by the piece? Oh, it's like, see.
In the à la carte line.
You buy a whole pizza for reduced price, that's slices. It's like $8 if you get a piece, or you get a whole pizza for $2.
I'm not sure what the rotation
It
is.
says twice a week on the
Okay.
It's Tuesday, it's
Tuesdays
Tuesdays.
and
It used to be twice a week, yeah.
Okay.
And they would alternate between Domino's.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept the pizza bid from Domino's for the 2023-24 school year?
Motion.
Motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes,
Steve.
Yep.
Scott.
Yes.
and Ryan's not here to answer this, but we have free lunches for the next 4 years, but this would be an extra. Yes. Right.
Yes. Yeah, there's different lines.
The grocery supplier, annually the district bids for grocery suppliers. One grocery bid was received from Kohl's. The memo is in board book. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion and a second to accept the grocery bid from Kohl's for the 2023-24 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Desha. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Would like to add a couple of things right here real quick. First of all, I don't know if you're aware that Ryan Elsasser, our food service director, oversees the SEPCO cooperative purchasing group. I guess that was established here, 40 years ago. I don't know the background of it 100%. But it costs another district $100 to be a part of the cooperative. And when they become a part of the cooperative, they get the discounts. So if you're using Kohl's, for example, already, and you jump into our cooperative, which is going to happen with some people locally here, and jump in with us, you will reduce your cost because we're buying in a bigger mass than they are. Okay, I say that because Ryan came to me, and this is what I've asked of most of our employees since I've been here. If you've got ideas or suggestions on how to make things better and help other people, please come and see me. You can see me, and we're reaching out to other districts. We've reached out to the parochial schools in town, and we are close to signing them on. I'm not sure all of them, but a couple of them, to be a part of this cooperative, which in turn will save them money and will probably save us money. Because the more people we can get into it, the more that you save through that. So I think at some point that would be nice to extend that appreciation to Ryan. I think we're paying him a little extra stipend or something on top of that, but it's not. But it's slick. I mean, he's got the order forms and they deliver them straight to wherever they need to go to and whatever from there. So when you're dealing with this grocery bid, keep that in mind. That SEPCO cooperative also plays into, because he says on here in your packet that it was sent to U.S. Foods, Gordon Food Services, Cisco, MJ Kellner, and Cole Wholesale. And Cole's the only one that bid, which I find interesting. But I guess
It's been like that every time we
Right.
It has been.
have this meeting.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with our location.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, board policy update and changes. Last month, we posted policies for review and public comments. I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the following board policies as presented. 2:110, 3:40, 4:60, 5:30, 5:90, 5:125, 5:150, 5:170, 5:260, 6:135, 6:230, and 8:20. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Chad. Second by Jill. Roll call.
Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay, in your packet, there is a posting for first reading of press policy. They're posting policies for review and public comment. Those are 2:80, 2:170, 4:45, 4:100, 5:230, 6:10, 6:190, 6:240, 7:275, 7:305, and 7:330. Anybody have any questions about those? Okay, so those will be posted. There's no recommendation or motion to second with those. Okay, so that will come at the next meeting. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the updated school logos and district seal. One thing that, I don't know if everyone got the email from me, I forwarded something on from Erin Hartkey, who's our new communications director. One of the things too is we're hoping for a huge rollout. We have to approve the logo, but then we're also not really presenting it yet because there'll be a whole branding package to come forward later. The approval that we're looking for tonight is just the academic side, which affects the district-wide schools and the district central office. And that is the logo package and seal package. So those you'll see those in print with things like business cards, letterhead, email signatures, seals on report cards. It's not sports related, if that makes sense, okay? So the sports stuff is still in the works. So that's why you don't see actual Hearts or Mustangs or Broncos or things like that. Does anybody have any questions? Or the marketing and communications committee has been meeting probably since the first of the year. The board approved to have the logo work done by Imagine This. They're doing a great job working with us, and we're super excited about the rollout. So
This came out of the strategic planning from the fall.
correct.
We're back with the community and people like that. So we've got lots of stuff all over the place. We're hoping at some point we can streamline the color and some of those things to make it
Right. With this, there will be a brand kit, which will include official colors, official typefaces, official font, yeah, things like that. And then what is the word? Exclusive use. There'll be rules with logo work, as far as modification and stuff goes, or additions to logos. So the branding kit will also come in months to follow. So I think the big push right now is to have this in place so that Little Hearts has something to put on a sign, to put on packets and things like that need to be released relatively soon. It's not something that we want to just all of a sudden replace everything that we have. It doesn't mean that if something has an old logo on it, right now we'll throw it out. But as we start to order new things, that's when you'll see a rollout. Any questions?
Looks good.
I will just say I've had people reach out to me with concern to try to keep some flaming hearts in the picture to some degree and what we're dealing with.
And Jill
Right.
spoke to that.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
about the athletics.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's no,
So I don't think there's an intent to get
yeah,
away
no,
from
there's no
that.
intent to get away from anything that we're representing now. We're just modernizing, updating, and making things a little more simplistic for reproduction, because right now it's very difficult to reproduce the seal that we have or to stitch anything on a shirt with all the details. So it's been simplified. So I don't know, I guess it really hasn't been determined like how this is going to press yet. Because we're approving it, but we're not officially using it yet, if that makes sense.
One thing that we would probably use is the little hearts one, just for the sign.
Well, I love that one.
Absolutely.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that I would throw under with it is, this is a really, really difficult process to, number one, narrow down to, and number two, control. So I think that our encouragement would be, those of us that are involved in these conversations, when somebody talks to us about this, please encourage those people to try to stay stream. I mean, somebody across town uses it, we're not gonna go close the shop down, but at the same time, it defeats the purpose if every entity is going out, kind of doing what they're doing right now. And it's not like we want to be the logo police, but it sure helps us as a unified community and a unified district to get these things in line.
Well, you've got a point person though now.
Yes.
Right.
So when you roll this out and advertise that with all the media and so forth, they'll know that Erin's their point person. So it's just like with a company, once we've got a branding specialist, they knew to call her and she gave them the kit. You'll have the kit to be able to share with people. And if we get really good and continue to have teams go to state, then we can charge for that.
That's true. Absolutely.
We're going.
Thank you.
Any questions? The athletic stuff is super exciting too. We're just not ready to roll it out yet. So there'll be more meetings regarding that as well. But the Flaming Hearts aren't going anywhere. We're just going to modernize that symbol a little bit. Okay, so do I have a motion and a second to approve the updated school's logo and district seal per the recommendation of the Marketing and Communication Committee? I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second by Chad, roll call.
Bishop. Steve.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad.
Yes.
Okay, approval of the Little Hearts Early Childhood Center personnel policy. The handbook was in your packet.
It was 78 pages
It was-
when we received it.
Oh, wow.
It has been condensed.
I thought 36 was a lot. Okay, so that's great.
What we try to do with it, and I say we, it's basically Jennifer and I think that's probably mostly been involved with it because of the expedited rate in which we need this accomplished. You have to understand the daycare, pre-K over there, entity is being, as the next approval we're asking for, we're going to talk about Fund 11. It has to be a separate entity. It's tuition based, it's the revenue comes in, we can talk a little bit more about that, but it all kind of comes in together. So the policies, the manner in which those employees are handled is on a completely different policy process than the two unions that are represented by the district, if that makes sense. That current employee group is not unique.
Okay. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the Little Hearts Early Childhood Program personnel policy?
Motion.
Motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Steve.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad.
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes.
Okay, and the approval and the resolution for the establishment of Fund 11. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Andy?
I can. This has been through our auditors, this has been through our attorneys, and now comes to you for approval. Basically, in a nutshell, it allows us to have 10 funds prior to tonight. If you approve this, we'll have 11. Those 11 funds, the 11th fund will be, again, probably more so the daycare, but it could be the pre-K a little bit, as long as it's not technically under ISB's guidelines. Okay, so they're different entities. We are not a for-profit business, And the business we purchased was a for-profit business. So again, we go back down the road of, and this is what we told the auditors and the attorneys, we are not in this to make money. We are in this to pay our bills. If we make money, we are going to reduce the rate at which we charge for people to bring their children to our daycare. And that is an intent that we plan to do. But we also need to show, I think there's prime examples in the area right now of if you didn't do it this way, how you could have problems. Levy money does not go into tuition-based daycare like we're providing. That has to be separate.
Oh, so it keeps
Okay.
it all separate.
That's correct. So from an accounting standpoint, it will be a whole lot easier for our auditors come audit season to be able to take a look at that. If somebody ever questioned what we were doing, we're able to show that at a very high level of record keeping that it's separate. So I can't come out and levy. The levy money that we will approve, taxpayer-based local money cannot be utilized to pay for teacher salaries and things like that, purchases and anything. We will start receiving our first tuition-based payments, 10th, 15th of July, somewhere in there. We've estimated out what the expenditure cost will be right out of the gate. We do have, she does have, I believe it's a $50,000 grant that will be turned over to us that she applied for and knew that it would be ours right out of the gate. So there is some kind of revenue in there. Fortunate for us, but unfortunate for us, we'll show a negative in that business until we get those regular checks flowing as far as tuition and grants going in there. So we've debated on whether we take money from somewhere else and we lend it or start zero-based and show negative. I don't like starting zero-based and show negative, but it is the cleanest and easiest way to make sure we don't get anything crossed over. So that's what our plan is.
Where the funds come from when you're starting zero and going negative, you literally have to have the money.
It just comes out of our, we have a $40 million budget, so we can.
And we're allowed to do that into a tuition-based.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We're doing the best we can to not, but we're not gonna not open up business when, if we have to, we would document anything that we would have to do that says borrow and we'll pay by whatever, so we'll be upfront and transparent with that. We anticipate right now a real good chance that we won't have to do that, especially with some of the grants that she's got, so. Not on wood.
The prepaid tuition too.
Right. Pay 2 weeks in advance,
Yeah.
a month in advance.
Okay.
And I believe we're full. We weren't full this summer, but we're full for the school year. I will tell you that in talking to our attorneys, they did say there were other options, but after we've gone down this road, we felt this was the best. We could technically put it underneath your ed fund and do a sub group underneath there. I again think this is best. It
It'll
sits
be
all
very
here
clean.
all by itself.
So when do people start writing checks to Little Hearts? Like, when does that?
10 through 15, somewhere in there. That's the tuition base that I said was the first payments will be. Yeah. I think they pay up front, so it's probably the 10th because we're shutting it down. We'll close the 29th, which is this Thursday. It'll be closed down under our leadership all of next week, so we can train the staff on all the trainings that she's had to pay them time to train. So our first year, we should be in pretty good shape. First students will come on probably the 10th, and so we should be receiving tuition payments, I'm assuming by the 10th. Most of it's direct pay, very few checks are exchanged anymore. And then, of course, we'll have to turn around the process of payroll that first week, after the first week of full operation with kids. But again, we should be right there.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the resolution for the establishment of Fund 11.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Desha, second by Scott. Roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking, we plan to adjourn to closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district. I'm looking for a motion and a second to enter into closed session for those items.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
I'll ask you to stay first and address us on a couple items and then she can go.
Okay.